So I was running a workshop at a school, and talking about implementing restorative practices, social emotional learning, self-awareness. And I had a teacher raise their hand in front of their principal and say, "It is not my job to worry about how my students feel." And my initial reaction was anger, right? Who is this, and how could you say that? But then I had to take a step back and recognize that that's literally how they view their job, and they are not alone in how they view it that way. I love this job because it allows me to champion something that I'm passionate about, which is reimagining what school looks like and what school is supposed to be. And moving away from this narrative that school should just be the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, and all academics, and school should be a place where you can build authentic relationships. I mean, if you walk up and look in any of these classrooms and you look at a picture from 19 whenever, it looks exactly the same. It has to be reimagined because it hasn't been reimagined.
Oftentimes, I think as educators, we plan things for our scholars without incorporating them into the discussion. So you have to have students making decisions, right? But not having them in the conversation is what's missing at a lot of schools. Being able to recognize that as an adult, I don't have all of the answers, right? So there's so much coming at them, and so if we don't have them in that conversation, then we run the risk of providing curriculum and providing the educational experience that might not meet the needs of our scholars. The work is to prepare scholars to be able to transition to the next phase of their life and be able to thrive. Not survive, right? Like, we want them to thrive in all aspects of their life, because then that just makes a better world for all of us. Through the experiences that our scholars are having with Bond, right, like that helps with that healthy component and helping students to be able to cope and also be able to communicate to others when they need help, which I think is a very invaluable skill when they transition from, in life in general, they're speaking to each other peer to peer, they're speaking the same language. And they might be able to communicate something in a way where their peers understand it better than, I can as an adult or their teacher or someone else on staff. I think that's very, extremely powerful when you have the youth leading each other and showing them the right way to do things, and just restoring healing in this community.
It's funny because, BOND stands for Building on a New Direction, and I honestly think it's exactly that, building on a new direction. I feel like when we're in school, talking to our teachers, talking to the principal, doing our academics, not much time is given to us mentally. And it sucks because as teenagers, we go through teenage growing pains, whether that's coming to school late every day or just getting into a fight with a friend. Sometimes the things that we go through aren't seen as serious because of our age and because of what it is that we're hurt about. These are teenage growing pains, and at the end of the day it hurts, and we're learning and we're growing and we're becoming young adults. We learn how to navigate our emotions and our feelings with the people around us. And I think it's important to have that, because in a world where you come to school and solely your academic is what's of importance, it's easy to lose yourself and to become lost. I know I have to get these things done, but there's a world out there, there's people out there who need a smile, who need to hear something vibrant, who need to be inspired. And as upsetting as it may seem to these professors and these teachers, sometimes academics does not do that. I was in a relationship my junior year, and as a 17-year-old girl, I was kind of navigating life in a way that I shouldn't have. We have crushes in high school, and this is how we learn who we trust, who we don't trust, who we can care about, who we don't care about. And some people may be, well, you're too young to know about that, and that's why I say, no, we're not too young. It happens, we're learning. Well, how do you think I'm gonna be 20 years old in college? And then junior year, my father also got locked up. So I was feeling all of these emotions, and I felt like I needed someone to be with me constantly, that it was just him, that person. I lost all my friends. I lost out on the opportunity of bond at the end of the year. You know, I was still learning, I was prioritizing other people before prioritizing myself. It was a difficult situation, and I lost myself over it, but I made a comeback senior year, and I'm working on myself now. I'm not 100% there. I'm a work in progress. And bond is one of the many things helping me with that. Sometimes I feel like I want to give up, and like if I don't have someone there following me with every second of the road, that I'm going to fail. And I'm just recently learning that I have myself, and in order to be good for yourself, you need to love yourself. And with bond, I'm learning that every single day. So there's that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Like on stage, you become a different person. Usually when I'm on stage, the lights are in front of me, the song is on, you can't really see people, but you can hear them. But for me, I tune everything out. Like I'm on stage, I don't really hear the music, I don't really see people on stage, I just black out basically. I'm a total different person. It's like Beyonce when she has her alter ego with like Sasha Fierce. Before I joined Bond, I was very antisocial, and I'm not a very talkative person. I still am not to this day, but I'm getting more open about it. And it's just, to me, it's just very hard to open up and just to talk to people you don't know. If I didn't have restorative circles, I would have still been more enclosed with myself. I would have been more social. I would have a very close relationship with other bond members as well. And I just feel like I wouldn't be involved with the school than I am now. I wouldn't be a part of the programs I'm in, and I wouldn't be like a part of like exec board for NHS, because ever since Bond, I've learned how to use my voice and actually speak up for myself and communicate with the principals and other administration. And Bond also like opened doors for me for other programs and paid internships, and also made my connections and relationships with teachers more better in terms of me holding circles for those teachers and them seeing me in another light instead of just me in class.
We all need support. We all need some loving, right? So for me, that's a real important part, just to show love and give love, because we never know what someone is going through and what they may need, just to help them to get through their days, one day at a time. You can ask teachers all the time. I'm always asking, hey, how are you doing? How's your day? That simple question goes a long way for people being acknowledged and feeling acknowledged in that sense of love. And it's important for students to see that many times they may say, oh, teacher doesn't like me. It's business, they gotta do their job. But if you take the opportunity to get to learn your students and know why they operate that they operate, or knowing that they have something going on outside of school, then that may make them feel much more wanted and be able to give in to say, okay, this person cares. Being able to support others is very important to me. So in this partnership and working with the students, leading them to be their best selves is really important for me to make sure that their social emotional well-being is a big focus for me.
The stars are Principal Johnson.
Take one.
Down to Mr. Daly.
Take one.
They are there every day doing the work. And I think it's powerful to see the returns, right? Where Principal Johnson's able to implement his vision and have student ownership and student leadership to where he is now seeing the benefits from that. And I immediately think not only the power of Raynelli's story and not only the power of the community that Fordham Arts built, but also how many Raynellis are out there that don't have that, right? How many Raynellis are there that don't have bond, that don't have communities like Fordham Arts that are actively asking them to return and are willing to receive them back even if they said no 20 times, right? So how many Raynellis are there that end up dropping out? How many Raynellis are there that continue to struggle with their mental health, right? How many Raynellis are there that never get the help that they need because they don't have that school community?
If you're not giving your students a chance to speak up for themselves, and you're not giving yourself a chance to hear them out, then what is the point? Because they're coming to school and they're sitting down in their desk and there's no change. There's no change. They're doing their work and they're leaving, but they've learned nothing for the real world. And they've learned nothing to navigate themselves through work. They're not gonna be in school their entire lives. They need to learn how to live their lives, and they're not gonna do that by sitting down and writing in a book 24/7 without speaking about what's going on and learning each other.